how Philippians 4:13 helped me face the impossible. From one Bible verse, SW, they said it would take a miracle. The doctors, the lawyers, even my friends. But no one knew the quiet promise God had whispered to my soul. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I was a single mom, 32 years old, standing in front of a judge with shaking knees and a trembling heart. It wasn't a criminal case. It was a custody battle, but it might as well have been a life sentence. My ex-husband had money, powerful attorneys, and an army of character witnesses. I had nothing but the truth and a prayer. It hadn't always been like this. I used to believe in fairy tales. I thought marriage would be my happy ending. But the man I once loved turned cold, controlling. After years of silent suffering, I walked away with nothing but my 2 kids, a suitcase, and a Bible I hadn't opened in years. We stayed in a shelter for 6 months. Every night, I'd read one verse to my children before bed. One night, my youngest pointed to a highlighted line in the tattered pages of Philippians. "What does that mean, Mommy?" he asked. I looked down. "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." At first, I didn't answer, because truthfully, I didn't believe it. I didn't feel strong. I felt broken, beaten, small. But the next day, I wrote that verse on a sticky note and put it on the fridge of our shared shelter kitchenette. Then on my notebook. Then on my bathroom mirror. Each time I read it, something stirred inside me. Courage, hope, the tiniest spark of faith. The battle in court dragged on for over a year. I couldn't afford a good lawyer, but a Christian woman from our church stepped in and offered pro bono help. "God put you on my heart," she said. "Let's fight this together." I cried that night harder than I had in years. Not from fear, from gratitude. For the first time, I believed. Maybe God hadn't forgotten me after all. Every court date, I wore the same necklace, tiny charm engraved with Philippians 4:13. When my hands trembled, I'd hold it. When I wanted to give up, I'd repeat it aloud. The final hearing came in the middle of a snowstorm. I remember standing in the hallway outside the courtroom, whispering, "Lord, if you brought me this far, don't let me fall now." Inside, it wasn't magic. The other side came in, polished and prepared. But when I took the stand, something happened. I spoke with clarity I didn't know I had. The words flowed not angry, not bitter, just honest. My faith had stripped away my fear. I told the truth about the pain, about the past, about my love for my kids. And I ended with the one thing I knew without a doubt. "I may not have much," I said, "but I have a faith that's carried me through fire. And I believe God has given me the strength to raise these children well." The courtroom was silent. The judge leaned forward, eyes thoughtful. And then he spoke words I'll never forget. In my years on this bench, I've seen a lot of strength. But what you just showed, that's rare. He ruled in my favor. Today, I have full custody, a small apartment, a steady job. But more than that, I have a story. A story of how one verse spoken over brokenness can breathe new life. A story of how God meets you, not when you re strongest, but when you trust Him with your weakness. Philippians 4:13 isn't just a verse on my mirror anymore. It's the echo of every step I've taken since. Share this if you believe God still writes the best stories.